So you've seen this thumbnail because you clicked this video, so you already know what I'm about to talk about. I'm Morgan C. Jones, so let's jump right into it. So last week, WWE released some names that like were kind of unexpected, but kind of expected or whatever, as well as AEW released some names which were really unexpected, but let's jump right into it. Let's first talk about the WWE releases. So WWE released these names from the company: The Authors of Pain, Paul Ellering, Cedric Alexander, Sonya Deville, Blair Davenport, Isla Dawn, Giovanni Vinci, Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Lou Gallows, and Elektra Lopez. So just to get it right into it, this is why I look at it as like, this was a surprise, but not a surprise. And this mainly just for WWE, I guess you could say, was the fact that when you're looking at these names, these aren't names that you're going to be appalled by, that you're going to be up in arms about, that you're going to be upset about, because a lot of these names they wasn't really using like that, or they wasn't really popping like that. Like the Authors of Pain. What were they really doing? Besides being part of the Final Testament. They didn't do anything. They didn't win a championship. They wasn't going for like the number one contendership. They wasn't making a big name for themselves. So it was like they wasn't doing anything with them. So it was like it made sense that they was going to get rid of them, which begs the question, why were they brought back anyway? Because if like memory serves me, that they were brought back and it took a long minute for them to even appear on TV until they appeared with the Final Testament, who really they wasn't doing too much with them, and then now they're released again, and it's like, what was the point? And then you got Paul Ellering, which he worked well with them at in NXT, so they was like, okay, we're gonna bring him, and he really wasn't doing anything. They didn't have him do anything. He wasn't really a major piece when it came to the Final Testament. So it was like, it wasn't a surprise. Like, it wasn't a thing that people are going to look at and be, upset about. Cedric Alexander is a person who was working with the Hurt Business, but never really got over with the crowd. So, and like lately, they hadn't been doing anything with him. I think they teamed him up with, what's his name? The guy from, Hit Row. I forgot his name. But they teamed him up with him, but they wasn't really doing anything. They didn't have them in like major matches, major programs, or anything of that nature. So it was like, I don't think really too many people really care. I think the curiosity and the care about him being fired is, will he go to AEW and team up with the Hurt Syndicate? And like basically bringing the band back together in its complete entirety. So I think when it comes to him, that's the thing that people are going to be talking about. Sonya Deville, they put her with the Pure Fusion Collective, which is one of the worst and horriblest names that they could have ever given any group in WWE. And she wasn't really hitting like they wanted her to, And so it's not a surprise that they would have got rid of her. I'm just surprised that why did, I don't know. Like it's not a surprise there. She wasn't hitting like they wanted her to. Blair Davenport, not familiar with her, so I don't know too much. But I'm pretty sure that they wasn't using her like that. Isla Dawn wasn't using her like that lately. Giovanni Vinci, I don't know what went on with him, because they let him go of Imperium. They tried to do something, but it felt like they didn't really do too much with his new gimmick, and they just buried him, and now they released him. So it's like, is there some behind the scenes shit that's going down? It's weird how they just kind of maneuvered him and everything else. The ones I say, if anybody is kind of maybe upset or thinking like, damn, why they didn't give him a chance or whatever, would be the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Lou Gallows. Now, they hadn't made a big splash in years when it came to WWE. They've been released, they've came back and everything else, and it seemed like they kind of did them dirty. That they wasn't doing anything with him. I'm not even about to say that they didn't have anything for him, or I guess you could say, because maybe the creative, they just didn't have anything for him, which it doesn't make sense. You have 2 tag titles, one on SmackDown and one on Raw, that you're not, really building up the tag team divisions for, as well as you have one for NXT. So it's like you have slots to put them in. But it was weird because when AJ went down, you didn't really see too much of the Good Brothers. So it was one of them things where, when you have a tag team, one partner goes down, they don't utilize the other person. It's rare that they will, but majority of the time they don't. So, oh yeah, your partner down for 6 months, we're not going to have you on TV. And it was kind of like one of those things. AJ Styles went off of TV, and they just stopped using them. They didn't use them as much. And so when it came to them, it was just like, I don't understand what y'all doing with them. Elektra Lopez, got rid of her. Don't know why. It's like a lot of these, and what's crazy is that I was thinking about it, that a lot of these talents that they let go, it was like you just brought, especially the women, you just brought in 2 new mid-card women's titles, and you have a women's tag division that is not that great. What's the point of releasing all these different girls? I mean, you need bodies. You need people to be defeated, even if you're just doing that. But you need bodies for these divisions. And I'm guessing maybe it's the fact that, they did say that they're going to be bringing up people from NXT, I guess, to cover those spots. And then they're going to be bringing in more people to NXT to cover those spots. So it makes sense. But also, there might be people that might end up getting released from either TNA or maybe other places or whatnot, or maybe even AEW, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So I'm guessing that's the reason why they're letting go, because it's like, either we're going to keep these people around that aren't doing anything, that aren't hitting the way we want them to hit, or we're just going to get rid of them and maybe bring in some new faces that we can get over with the crowd and have, they can have a bigger name. So I'm guessing that's the reason behind it. But when it comes to these WWE releases, they're not truly questionable. Some of them are, maybe, but for the most part, they're all kind of like, I can understand why WWE got rid of them. And, good luck on their future endeavors. I think a lot of them are going to bounce back. A lot of them probably may not. Just going to probably just stay small time. Some of them probably might end up becoming bigger and coming back to WWE. Who knows? But, those are my thoughts on that. And quickly getting into the AEW side, AEW released 3 big names that I, myself, and a lot of other people wasn't expecting for them to release, was Malachi Black, Miro, and Ricky Starks, which is funny because we've been, the whole ICW has been talking about Ricky Starks, he's becoming a bigger name. I know Tony Khan has been wanting to not have him on TV, suppressing him for whatever reason, so that he can make his name not as big and people forget about him. But him doing that only made him a bigger name, because now people are questioning, why aren't you letting him go? Why aren't you letting him go? What's happening? It's making a big thing. It's kind of like Ricochet. When he got released from WWE, he got bigger as far as his popularity and stuff, with him leaving WWE and possibly going to AEW, than he has ever been really in his whole WWE career. And that's kind of the same thing that happened with Ricky Starks. I'm not an avid AEW watcher, but from what I understand is that he has all the stuff. He has the physical appearance, the look. He has the in-ring talent. He has the promo ability. So he is a person that they can look at, that if they even put him in NXT, which is where he's at now, that he's going to soar up in there, as well as when they call him up to the main roster, he's going to soar in that. And so, looking at it, not even a day, this has happened on Monday, not even 24 hours later, this man is on freaking NXT. Maybe a little bit over 24 hours. But he's already signed with WWE. He wasn't playing. When he wanted to go, that man ran out the door. You saw a plume of smoke in the outline of his body. And you're like, Rick, where did he go? And just smoke. That's really what it was. So he wasn't playing. He wanted to get away, go to WWE, and that's what happened. That's what happened. Malachi Black, I'm pretty sure he's going to end up in WWE. He's going to either go to just being a solo performer as he was before, or they're going to put him with his wife, Zelina Vega, which they didn't do before because she was with Andrade before. But I think that that's probably what's going to happen, or they might end up putting him with the Judgment Day. He might end up becoming the new leader of Judgment Day, which I think would probably be a perfect fit for him. So I'm looking forward to that. As far as Miro, I feel like he's going to make his WWE return as Rusev. And from what I understand, what I'm hearing is that, like I said, I don't watch AEW like that. I do keep my ear on certain things and, just whatever. But I hear that the Redeemer character was really good and what he was doing in AEW. So I know a lot of people want to see him do that same type of gimmick in WWE. I don't know if it's going to be Miro. It might be Rusev the Redeemer or something like that. But I feel like he's going to be back in WWE. I feel like he is not going to just flounder around and, go to New Japan or whatever. If he doesn't, he probably going to do the streaming, the game streaming, because I hear that's what he does or whatnot. But I don't think he's going to stay away for too long. Feel like he's going to need to get back in that ring. And when he does, he's more than likely going to have a job at WWE, because I'm pretty sure that they're going to accept all those men back. Ricky, they've already accepted back. Got a name change. Not really feeling it too much, but it's one of those names, you hear it long enough, you're going to get used to it. It's still going to be bad, but you're still going to get used to it. But we're just waiting on seeing what Malachi Black and what, or Aleister Black, or what he's going to be called, and Rusev is going to do. And, yeah, those were really the major surprises out of any release between AEW and WWE last week. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the other two men are going to do that got released from AEW. But yeah, those are my thoughts. If you made it this far, thanks. And I will catch you guys on the next one. So yeah, peace out.